Okay, so firstly then, let's look at some of these arguments that we've already covered, but we'll try and sort of formalize a bit more now. So why make education free for all? Why not make it free, for instance, for those who can't afford it? Because some people, millionaires, clearly can afford to pay for education. And in the UK, about 9 to 10% of parents, families do pay for their children to go to private schools. So then, why do we make it free for all in most countries? So first of all, we've got the economic argument or the practical argument. And we saw this when we talked in the last lecture about human capital. And the argument here is that either that if we make sure that everyone gets it, then that's going to increase the value of our economy. It's going to mean our economy produces more. And the question is, why make it free for all? Well, because if it's not free for absolutely everyone and compulsory, then some parents probably, they might not send their children to school. And you could then argue that there's a risk that the society will benefit less from it. However, it seems more that the compulsory factor might have more to do with the moral argument, which is to do with things like equality or human rights to certain things. And generally, it's considered that there's a right, some reason, moral reason, that children should go to school. And we think in most countries, we also tend to think that it's unfair if some children get to benefit from education or school and other children don't. So we've got the economic argument, the moral argument, and then we've got the social argument, which relates to the fact that if people are getting different levels of education, then they're going to have different sort of outcomes in life, and that might lead to unwanted political consequences and division in society. As resentment builds up, or as classes appear, educated people, less educated people. So there's this social argument that it's better to stop civil wars, political violence, and things like that. So economic, moral, social. And then there's another one, which is not as important, I'd say, but some people might be interested in it, which is the sort of health argument. And this is based on the fact that we're pretty sure that what the results show is that if you are educated in school and you learn about sort of how our bodies work, you learn about things like calories, then you're more likely to live healthily. Okay, so if children don't go to school, obviously there's other factors that go into this, but education probably is a factor, that if you don't go to school, then you're less likely to live healthily, because you might not know what living healthily should look like. And that then costs everyone else more, because everyone pays taxes that pay for health services in some countries, especially the UK. And therefore, you save money the idea is you save money if you educate everyone that smoking is bad for you, that eating too many of certain foods is bad for you. And therefore, you have less things like lung cancer, you have less heart disease, the things that cost the state a lot of money in healthcare and things like that. And also, healthy people work more. You're more productive at work if you're healthy than if you're very unhealthy. However, this is where it gets interesting, is the last one is the same for food, because lots of people who are not well off cannot afford to eat very healthily, especially at certain times of years when, fresh fruits and vegetables might not be easily available. There's lots of debates about this. Some people who don't want the state to provide free food and free school meals, for instance, they say, oh, it's very easy to buy affordable, healthy food. Whereas other people say that's just not the case. Living healthily does cost more.